This is Denny Savard on the puck. Savard had a great shift, 2 scoring chances and speed through the neutral zone. And there you see Keane has been knocked down by that man, Dave Poulin. And Keane was trying to hold himself up at the blue line as you see the Bruins start to back in, respecting the speed of Denny Savard. So power play time again for Montreal.
On the power play, LeBeau is at center. Courtnall is on the right. Corson on the left. Desjardins and Schneider, the Montreal defense combination. Bourque and Don Sweeney on defense for Boston with Christian and Lazaro up front. Courtnall left the puck behind the net. Schneider gives it to Desjardins into the middle for LeBeau. Shot it in off Raymond Bourque. Bourque's effort to get it out hits Corson and bounces up in the air. Shane Corson with it. Corson right back from LeBeau. Now LeBeau steps out of the corner with a centering pass that's blocked. The Bruins can't get it out of the zone. Schneider with a drive. Bogue has it. Sits down, but he has grabbed the puck and held for a face-off.
Takes another example of Montreal's power play. Getting the puck finally, even if it was accidental, back to the point. Schneider's got the great shot. He's been the best defenseman for Montreal in this series, along with Desjardins, and he just steps into it here. Andy Moog, look at the positioning. Absolutely perfect again with LeBeau moving in. Andy Moog held on to the puck. Schneider perhaps got it up just a little bit too high. Andy Moog is not showing any signs of being tired after playing in all of Boston's playoff games. If he was tired, you could tell he'd be back deeper in the net. He's been out and established position very well prior to the shots coming his way.
Still a minute and 27 seconds left in Poulin's penalty. Cam Neely facing off against Corson. Neely won the draw. Bourque around the boards to the open side of the ice, chasing it as Burridge. Over comes Desjardins for Montreal. Burridge right on him, forces him back to the net, then ties him up. Schneider failed to dig it loose. He gets it now. Oh, collided with Courtnall. But Courtnall comes away with the puck. Put it in the zone, and it's cleared down the ice by Bourque.
Once again, Hoover getting more penalty killing time. He's the 5th forward on the penalty killing totem pole because one of the top 4, Poulin, in the box this time.
Desjardins' pass was broken up there by Wesley.
Boston's forwards, Jakes, love to put pressure on the other team's power play, 1 man at a time. Burridge is in there. As Burridge cuts back, now the team cuts back, but generally it's one forward, he'll cut back, the other forward will move in. He'll cut back, that initial forward will cut in.
Bruins trying to move it out of the zone. Hoover does. Schneider slammed into him, and he gets an address from Hoover.
He didn't retaliate this time, did he? He did earlier in the game and took a penalty.
Now Corson slaps the puck in. 17 seconds left in Poulin's penalty. The Canadians trying to get one last chance set up here. Corson looked toward Cote, turns it along the boards into Richer, out to Savard, and Don Sweeney steps in front to break it up, but Corson checks in. Matthew Schneider puts it in the corner. Savard centers through everybody in a white uniform. Cote with a shot that's wide. Teams at 6 aside. Corson chasing a loose puck, gives it to Richer. Off his stick, off the boards as well, and Poulin is able to clear the zone for the Bruins. The Canadians set up again. Corson brings them over the line. Backhanded one into the pads of Bogue. And then bounced away, but Galley is able to recover and gets it to the line. Cote with it here. Cote puts it in deep. Savard trying to dig it off the end boards. The jam up, and finally the puck does come loose. Savard around to Corson. Corson waits for Savard to go to the net. His shot hit the post. Moog didn't see it. It came through a screen, but clunked the post to his left. And the Canadians are all the way back. Less than 7 minutes to go. Second period at Montreal. Still a 1-1 tie as Guy Carbonneau comes over the Boston line and gets checked by Don Sweeney. Up with the loose puck is Poulin. 3 Canadians, now 4 get back. Raymond Bourque dumps it in.
The Bruin penalty killing excellent here in the second period, but Jigs, their offense. The Bruins have had 2 shots since that initial power play to start the second period.
And the Canadians have them moving in. Courtnall with a shot beaten by Moog on the short side, and there's no further play. 6 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the second period at Montreal. It's been LeBeau and Don Sweeney with the goals.
Too much of a good thing is a good thing. The new incredibly comfortable Mercury Grand Marquis. All this on the quality of a Mercury.
At Montreal, the game tied 1-1 yesterday. Pat Burns took his team supposedly to practice. Everybody in the gear, but they never got to the rink, kept them on the bus. How did they react?
Well, it was something I kind of found funny. I think Burnsy saw me starting to tighten up my skates, and at that point in time we turned the bus around. But beautiful summer day. We love to have our hockey gear on this late in the season, and hopefully we'll have it on when the weather gets even warmer in May.
Well, so much depends on what they do tonight. Ryan Skrudlin, nice reaction to what they had to go through yesterday. And the reaction here by Boston has been to call a timeout. Saw the speed of Corknall testing Moog. Andy has been tested more regularly here in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
It just seems that every shot Boston allows is a good scoring chance by Montreal. The last shift, Corknall blew around the defenseman Kenny Hammond and had the partial breakaway shot on Andy Moog. Moog's been the story because of the quality of saves he's had to make in this game.
Always coaching. He's got Hammond and Bork out on defense. Montreal trying to force a 7th game in the series. It would be at Boston on Monday. The last time these two teams played a 7th game in a series, JD, was 1979 in the semifinals.
Too many men on the ice?
Where is
that cost the New York Rangers a Stanley Cup. Because the Rangers ended up losing to Montreal. If the Rangers would have played Boston, no doubt in my mind the Rangers would have won it.
Oh, I'll have to tell Don Cherry.
I have plenty of times.
Great. Goodness.
Don Cherry's Boston Bruins had the game in hand here late, and they took a too many men on the ice penalty. And Guy Lafleur scored against Gilles Gilbert. Remember it well.
Boston would like to win tonight. Ray Bork would like to be able to come out of the division in front of a lot of his family and friends here. He grew up in Montreal, still has a home here.
Even has a hockey arena named after him in this area. Thinks he can take face-offs too. We were talking about it this morning. Rod Langway takes a lot of draws when Washington plays. Every once in a while, Raymond Bork will take one in the defensive zone. And we've seen Cam Neely take a lot of draws in this series up front.
Neely, Janney, and Nyland, the forward line for Boston. The Carbonneau line out for Montreal. Hammond trying to hold it at the line. Janney couldn't get it back in to keep the play onside. Now he does. And Dufresne has it. Donald Dufresne chased by Neely as he slaps it around to Corknall and clears the zone, but Nyland has tipped it back to Hammond. Up to Chris Nyland through some traffic, but right to Desjardins. Now to Corknall on right wing. Cross ice. Here's McPhee. Bork knocks it away from him. And he bangs McPhee on the boards as Neely is bumped. Carbonneau went to the ice. Big, strong forward in the person of Cam Neely out with Janney and Nyland. Nyland checked by Corknall, and the puck goes out of play, and we get a collision with McPhee and Nyland. And Carbonneau and Neely paw at one another, but this isn't too serious.
Janney seems to have played much better ever since Chris Nyland was put on the left side with Janney and Neely. Neely and Guy Carbonneau match up. Neely moves the puck. When people hit Neely, they bounce right off him. Earlier in the game, we saw Mike McPhee hit Neely. Mike McPhee caromed off of Neely. And Scotty Bowman was telling us up here, can't believe the strength of Neely. But when you see him night after night, people like Guy Carbonneau will talk about it. Jakes, Odeline hasn't played very much as again, you see McPhee and Neely.
Hello.
He is one strong guy, isn't he? Cam Neely. Odeline hasn't played very much. He's the 6th defenseman. And generally, when you sit on the bench, see the E on the Coca-Cola sign? That's where the gate is. And if you sit to the left of that gate, the left of the big E, that means you're not playing. That means you're in the Chateau Bow Wow. This right here is, pardon me, that's Odeline sitting right on the end of the bench. The Chateau Bow Wow is the left side. If you're on the left side of the E on Coke, that means you're not playing.
I'll keep an eye on that sign. the Bruins get the puck into the Montreal zone, but the play is offside with 4 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the second period. Goals came at 4:44 and 8:06 in the first period, and shut them down hockey since there.
You notice the coaches aren't fighting the matchups at all. Pat Burns has the last change, but again we see Hoover on Richer, Burridge on Skrudland, and there we took a quick little peek at Odeline, and we've got Corson opposite Duras. This is the one area that Pat Burns doesn't seem to be fighting.
Puck tied up on the boards here in the Montreal zone. Now it comes loose, and Peter Duras gets to it. Nice turn on Daniel. Hoover trying to put it in front. That was broken up, and Richer springs Shane Corson. Bork drops back. Corson waiting for Skrudland to move up, and they waited too long because Bork was there to knock it loose. Now Brian Skrudland has it taken out of his skates. Randy Burridge, Don Sweeney, they get it to the line, and it goes out of play and back in offside. 4 minutes and 13 seconds left. We look at this Montreal lineup. There are several people that we haven't seen a great deal of. Cote, another one of them. He's a former Bruin.
Played 48 games as a Bruin over 4 seasons. Requested a trade was to Washington for Bobby Gould, and then from Washington to Mike Milbury's Bruins. Cote is playing Jakes in his first ever playoff series, and he has played well for Montreal.
He's had to. A lot of ice time, a lot of confidence shown in him. Duras, Burridge, and Hoover up front. Wesley and Gary Galley, the defense for Boston. Desjardins and Dufresne back for Montreal. Skrudland line. Skrudland, Corson, and Richer now. And Shane Corson. He's dumped it in. Remember the last game here, he had 4 points. And then was thrown out of the game. 2 shots on goal, 2 goals, assisted on 2 others.
Thrown out of the game in the second period, still named the game's second star. That's how good and how well he plays.
There's some who think that he is on the verge of stardom, and others say that he plays 1 game and then does nothing for 2 or 3.
Now this may be an example. He has not been nearly as effective in this game, and perhaps credit that stump line, the Burridge-centered line, for not allowing that Corson, Richer, Skrudland line to generate a whole lot of offense. And Mike Milbury certainly playing that line as a unit, and they seem to be enjoying themselves, Jake. They just finished another strong shift.
Ron Hoover signed with Boston as a free agent. He was drafted originally by Hartford. And talking with the Boston coaching staff this morning, Ted Sater said that he was at a wedding 2 summers ago. Who should be there but Hoover's coach from Western Michigan? And he said, can you find a spot for a kid named Hoover? Well, we'll see. They checked around. Some of the scouts said, yeah, you know, he possibly could play, certainly in the minor leagues. I think he's in the NHL to stay. The kid has really played well after getting an opportunity. Neely puts it in front of the Montreal goal. It's intercepted. Now Janney gets to it. Greg Janney feeds the blue line. Wesley in around the boards. Ruzicka tipped it toward the corner. Galley in off the point. Gave it to Ruzicka. To Janney. Where's Neely? Can't find him. He's well covered by McPhee. Ruzicka centers. That's broken up by Cote. Out he comes with Keane. 3 Bruins get back. Canadians held the puck and made the pass, and McPhee swings behind the net, tries a wraparound. It bounces back to the goal. Courtnall and Wesley there, the puck loose. McPhee gets to it, tested ball from short range. Has it again, can't bang it in. Neely gets upended. They allowed to continue. Carbonneau centered it through Courtnall, and now Cote feeds Courtnall. Walks in, shoots, molds the save, and there's no further play.
Now the checking line on the ice against the Janney line once again. And again, they spend more time in the Boston zone, but who is there once again and again? Andy Moll.
Now how am I going to get there? It'll be great to see the guys again. I wonder if they'll all show. I just gotta get there.
I'm trying to make my way back to the Brackendale River.
Friends deserve the best.
This is great. They all showed up.
The crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer, Labatt's Blue.
What took you so long?
I had a little car trouble.
Between friends, it's true blue. Labatt's Blue.
That's McPhee on the left, Courtnall on the right. Together, they've tried to get Montreal into the lead a couple of times.
Jakes Courtnall moves all over the ice in the offensive zone. McPhee has had his best offensive game of the series and has been against that Janny Neely line throughout most of the game. Look at the battle, the fight off away from checks. That was Courtnall trying to get away as McPhee was trying to jam the puck. Courtnall has this wrist shot. He has to go up high because of the sliding defenseman Galley. And Andy Mogan perfect position, and we've said that a lot throughout this game. Courtnall's kind of like a rover on that line. McPhee and Carbonneau know where they are, generally in the lanes, but Courtnall, he zips and zigs and zags all over the place.
Now the Canadians have Gilchrist, Keane, and Savard together. It's Boston winning the draw and starting out. Raymond Bourque plays it in around the defenseman Daigneault. J.J. Daigneault pulls up on Christian, turns the puck back, gets it again, and Poulin is on it. Gilchrist has lost his helmet, but he has the puck, moves it up the boards. It's held there by Skriko, then knocked away. Bourque can't get it around Gilchrist. Reached over to knock it away in front of the Montreal bench. In and out of the skates of Gilchrist and came back toward Dave Christian. Pass through Skriko, picked off by Mike Keane of the Canadiens. Cross ice, out of the reach of Gilchrist, and Bourque steps into him. Makes it to the boards, holds it there as Keane came in quickly, and there's no further play. 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining in period 2.
You mentioned the time left, Jiggs. There was a power play for just over 1:30 to begin the second period in favor of Boston. Boston had 5 shots to give them a total of 12 once that power play had expired. They've had 2 shots since. Patrick Roy had a very quiet period. Andy Moog has had lots of work. You mentioned about Ted Sater and Ron Hoover. Ted Sater's the man that brought Dave Poulin back from Europe to the National Hockey League when Ted Sater was an assistant coach with Philadelphia. And Poulin starred as a Flyer until the trade to Boston, and he's been a major part of the Boston team too.
A lot of injuries to play through this season for Dave Poulin. I think of the contribution also of Dave Christian. Veteran players that the Bruins have acquired, either in trades or free agency, that type of thing, have really come through for them.
They don't make many bad deals, do they?
No, they don't.
Harry Sinden, he's a legend in the National Hockey League for his work over the past couple of decades.
Savard and Poulin on the face-off. The Canadians get the draw back to the point. Schneider is met by Skriko. The outlet is to Christian. He's one-on-one with Cote. Christian trying to get into the middle. Cote held right with him and knocked it loose, and now Schneider takes it back to the net. Matthew Schneider with an outlet to Keane. One touched it. Here's Turgeon over the line. Knocked off his stick. Can't get to it again. Schneider waits for his teammates to get back. Shot it over Turgeon's head, and backboard is Ken Hammond. Hammond using the boards. He's cleared at the length of the ice. That's an icing call with 70 seconds remaining in the second period. One of the positive things, John, that the Canadiens coaching staff was talking about, if St. Louis loses to Minnesota tomorrow, Los Angeles loses to Edmonton, and Montreal beats Boston, the Canadiens would have home ice for the rest of the playoffs. They finished
looking ahead. You're absolutely right.
They finished a point ahead of Pittsburgh. They finished 9 ahead of Edmonton, and they finished about 21 points ahead of Minnesota. So presuming that Minnesota beats St. Louis and Edmonton eliminates LA, they know that if they beat Boston, will play Pittsburgh in the next round.
And you know, Boston has never beaten Montreal in 2 consecutive playoff rounds. They won last year. They beat Montreal last year, but never 2 straight. And this is their 26th series. Boston and Montreal has become tradition. Almost every playoff season, they meet.
And you let me make a reservation to go home after this game tonight. I can't.
No, too. Don't be saying that. We have reservations everywhere.
Skrudlin and Poulin on the draw here. 1-1 is our score. Time winding down in the second period. Boston leads the best-of-7 series 3 games to 2, and they just forced the Canadiens to chase a loose puck.
Very interesting as Boston put a different, more veteran line on the ice here against this Skrudlin line.
And they just had a chance to take the lead as Nyland tipped it toward Lazaro. Skrudlin turns it over. Lazaro with a shot that's wide. Wesleyan off the point. Trying to get something set up. He was checked by Courtnall. Comes back to check Courtnall in turn, but up with it is Desjardins. Shot it off Wesley. Now got it to Courtnall. That goes off Wesley to Raymond Bourque. He's cleared it out with half a minute to go in the period. Bourque, the Canadiens have tried to clear it in. Gave it to Wesley. Up ahead to Chris Nyland. Desjardins got back with time to spare. Matthew Schneider is checked by Burridge. Nyland there as well, but the Canadians recover. Shane Corson with a pass. Got it right back from Courtnall. Dumps it in around Bork. Wesley over to get a stick on it. He's met by Corson. Corson pawing at Wesley, and Chris Nyland flips it high in the air, and that will do it for the second period.
Montreal is one goaltender away, and you're looking at him from forcing this into a 7-game series. Andy Moog has been without a doubt the story. Patrick Roy hasn't had much work at all.
We're at the end of the second period. The score is tied 1-1, and we pause now for the regional break. You're watching Sports Channel America's exclusive Stanley Cup coverage.
West to the mean streets, Clint Eastwood has enforced his own style of law. Now, you can own his greatest movies with the Clint Eastwood collection from Time Life Video. As a gritty cop or a gunslinging renegade, Clint delivers non-stop action and some of the most famous one-liners in screen history.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Start your collection with Dirty Harry, the original bad boy cop who packs a cannon in his holster and who takes no prisoners.
Being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off.
He's always ready to give a crook a chance.
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Other videos include the outlaw Josie Wales.
You gotta pull those pistols and whistle Dixie.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Put your drawers on and take your gun off.
And hang 'em high.
Hang a man, you better look at him.
Plus Magnum Force.
Man's got to know his limitations.
And Sudden Impact.
People have a nasty habit of getting dead around you.
There's no commitment or minimum number to buy, and you keep only the videos you want. So grab the nearest phone and call us now for Dirty Harry. From outlaw to Harry's Law. Make the best of Clint part of your video collection. Here's how to order.
To order your first video, Dirty Harry, call 1-800-252-6500. That's 1-800-252-6500. Or send just $14.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to Clint Eastwood Collection, Department 74, Box 1322, Buffalo, New York.
Through 40 minutes of Game 6 of the series, only 2 goals. They both came in the opening period. 1-1 our score. LeBeau scored on a power play at 4:44 of the opening period. Courtnall and Savard assisted, giving Montreal the lead. And then on a breakaway, Don Sweeney unassisted. His first goal in the playoffs coming at 8:06. Neither team scored in the second period. Your shots on goal in the opening period, the Canadians out-shooting Boston 2-1, and in the second period, a margin of 12-7, so it's a total of 26-14. The Bruins have had 4 chances on the power play, the Canadians only 1. Sylvain Turgeon of the Canadians joins us now. Sylvain, back in the lineup. That I have to presume with the speed you've shown me tonight that injured knee is 100% again.
It is 100%. I guess they did an excellent job. As you know, it's just cracked, so it wasn't completely broken. So I was happy about it, and now I'm back on the right track.
Your first season here in Montreal, probably not the way you would like it, that abdominal problem early on, but now into the playoffs. How did you keep yourself focused and getting ready?
Well, the main thing is, I think, is you want to maintain your legs, you maintain your good attitude, being positive, and you really work hard and riding the bike every day. And you know, I talked to the trainer. He fit me a program because, as you know, as you come back right in the middle of the playoff, you have to be in top shape, and I wanted to be that way, you know, in good condition to really jump out there and feel good about myself and help my team.
We've asked so many of the players about their reaction to yesterday's bus trip and the sightseeing tour that you went on. How did you react?
We had a sightseeing. Well, it was in and out, but obviously I think we were positive about it. You know, we didn't practice, but obviously we came back and we said, let's get ready for tonight. And it's 1-1 right now, and we're really working hard. I think it's going to be a big third period. We have to come out on top like we did before, and I'm sure we can do it. We have to show our fans and ourselves that we can do it right here in the third period.
20 minutes of regulation time left. Sylvain, thanks for the visit. The Canadians trying to force a seventh game in the series. If they do it, it'll be at Boston on Monday night. Right now, at the end of 2, it's the Canadians 1, the Boston Bruins 1, and our intermission continues following these messages.
Who's presenting tomorrow anyway?
The face.
Are we scanning in his latest PR photo?
Face. Somebody better make the type bigger.
To make an ideal world.
This is excellent. Very precise. They've been very precise.
They're smiling. They're sold.
For documents that cut through, motivate, and persuade, nobody puts it together like Xerox.
Good morning.
Printing, scanning, publishing. Xerox, the document company.
Mission: create the ultimate automobile polish. Mission accomplished. Liquid Crystal, the most technologically advanced automobile polish ever made. A dull, faded blazer, the shine instantly restored with no rubbing, no buffing. And after 104 car washes, water still beads. Liquid Crystal will shine and protect better than any car wax you've ever used, or your money back. Liquid Crystal, quite simply, the best shine and protection money can buy.
Nobody needs to know it all like a sports fan, and that's why there's the National Sports Daily.
If you like sports, it's a paper to buy.
All the stats, all the facts, figures.
All the inside stories.
All of everything.
Huddle Sports covered.
The big picture, the National gives you the gigantic picture.
For the excitement, the passion, the intensity of sports, get involved every day in the National Sports Daily.
I live by it. Religiously, I do. I read it every day. Every day of the week.
The National Sports Daily, changing the way you read sports.
Every day.
Listen to my nephew. He's going to be a lawyer like me. He's even going to look like me.
Oh, really? So does that mean on his first big trial day, the jury's going to notice his winning smile?
Yeah.
And his great suit?
Yeah.
Oh, his little flakes.
No, dandruff for me?
Oh, it can happen to perfect people. Here, just use my shampoo.
Head and Shoulders? But you don't have dandruff.
I rest my case.
Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
CJ Papa back in New York, and let's turn from the Adams to the Smythe, where the Black and Blue Kings got healthy on Edmonton last night. Tomas Sandstrom, who broke a bone in his right leg in Game 2, played and assisted on Luc Robitaille's second goal. Sandstrom's return was appreciated by his teammates.
This kid is as tough as they come. I don't know if I met a guy that's this kind of heart. I mean, he's playing. He's got a broken bone, or whatever you want to call it, fracture. It's no secret that he's playing with the injury. Anybody else, as the doctor said, would probably had a cast on it when it happened, and he wouldn't have had a cast be put on. And 2 days later, he's skating lightly, and 4 days later, he's playing.
We all know that anybody with a broken bone in their leg would be in an incredible amount of pain. So we don't ever question Thomas, and when he wants to play, let him play, and it's a big lift for us.
Usually our job is to single out the one moment from the week and honor it as the Labatt's Player of the Week. But this week, our decision was just too tough. So we have a special double play. Yes, Esa Tikkanen is back in the winner's circle. Last week, he won the honors with his goal against Calgary. This time, he goes 1-on-4 for the power play goal, beating the Sleeping Kings. And Kelly Rudy in Game 4. Now to Game 3. Keep your eye on Montreal's Eric Desjardins. Boston has the man advantage, but the defenseman stops the puck, then knocks it ahead to Russ Courtnall. The speedster converts with the backhand, beating Andy Moog. These two plays warn our Labatt's Play of the Week honors. More from Montreal after this timeout.
I'm Bob Knoll. My official title is Head of Auto Testing for Consumer Reports magazine, but I really work for you. Every year, my staff and I report on over 140 models, specifically with your needs in mind. So when you shop for a car, you'll know if it's safe and reliable, how it's equipped, how it performs, and whether it's cramped or comfortable. And there are over 200 people who work for you at Consumer Reports. We test and report on everything from toothpaste to TVs. And since Consumer Reports is nonprofit and accepts no advertising, we're able to give you the unbiased truth about products. Right now is a good time to try Consumer Reports because you can get a free trial issue with no strings attached. Here are the details.
Call now for your free trial issue of Consumer Reports. Learn how products compare, which give you the most value for your dollar, and which are best for your specific needs. Consumer Reports gives you information like which fast food lunch had the least fat, which VCR had the best picture quality, which oil filter best protects your car, which laundry detergent delivers what it promises, and which bank really helps the money pile up. Consumer Reports rating system compares products by brand name. You'll know who the reliable manufacturers are, which models have the features you want, plus all the pros and cons, including price. Call now for your free trial issue, then decide. When the bill arrives, pay it and get 11 more issues, 12 in all, including the annual buying guide issue, for just $20. Or write cancel on the bill and owe nothing. And with your paid subscription, you'll get 2 free books, our 1991 buying guide issue and the updated New Medicine Show.
And your paid subscription includes the annual auto issue with new car ratings, repair records, and crash test results. So put Consumer Reports to work for you. Call now.
Call 1-800-634-6500. 1-800-634-6500.
The city of Montreal not accustomed to seeing their team in a situation that they're in tonight, facing elimination. But they're accustomed to a 1-1 tie as well. As we played 2 periods, the 2 goals, let's go back and recreate them. Up high, right back here by Savard. They double team him at center and knock it away. Martinal gets it across the line, onside, the ball scores! Into the skates of Scribbling, got it on the stick here. Even the reshape poked away. Out comes Don Sweeney. Gets a step on Schneider and moves into the backhand and scores! Those are the only goals of the game thus far. We have 20 minutes of regulation time just ahead. Back with that following these messages.
Each year, the experts at Car and Driver look at over 100 cars, so you don't have to. From the current new cars, they just picked their 10 best. At the most, you'll probably only buy one of them. That's too bad, because 2 of the 10 best are Mercury's. Mercury Sable and Mercury Tracer LTS. All this in the quality of a Mercury.
There's only one light beer with the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered Genuine Draft Light.
We're on our way. Yeah, we'll be ready.
What you're about to see is a sim. Brushstrokes, runs, streaks. Now consider the new Wagner Power Painter. It has patented controls for precision, a convenient backpack for big jobs. It paints smoothly and evenly over cracks and tough surfaces. Why did we ruin this beauty? So you wouldn't ruin this one. Wagner, not just a whole lot faster, a whole lot better.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Mercury. See the exciting new line of 1991 Mercury automobiles at your Lincoln Mercury dealer. By the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft Light. Big draft taste comes to life. And by Wagner, power painting that's not just a whole lot faster, but a whole lot better. The war in the Smythe Division Finals rages on as battle fatigue becomes a constant companion. Can Wayne Gretzky and the Kings upend the defending Stanley Cup champion Edmonton Oilers? Find out. See continuing coverage on Sports Channel America tomorrow.
The Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins tied 1-1 at the Forum in Montreal, getting ready for the third period. A game, a series that could hinge on a face-off. the key coming up here in the third period. We asked Dave Poulin of the Bruins about faceoffs.
I think Skrudland, he gets in with his whole body. He goes down very low on the puck, and he'll do a variety of things. You know, you can be tough on faceoffs one way, but guys in this league figure it out pretty quickly, and so you have to have a variety of things in your arsenal. Try and get in low. It'll be a little different tonight in that he gets to come in last, but try and do as many different things as I can so that when you go in against him, he's not sure what you're going to do. Also, you may be doing different things in the neutral zone and saving one specific thing for a time when you really need it.
We'll keep an eye on face-offs. Key matchup in this third period. Back with the drop of the puck in just a moment.
Head & Shoulders Shampoo presents the NHL's greatest hits because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Clean, rugged hits are one of the NHL's most dramatic features. Perhaps the most rugged hitter is the Boston Bruins' Cam Neely. The 25-year-old right wing is in his 8th NHL season, and while he's led the Bruins in scoring the last 2 seasons, he still delivers some of the NHL's greatest hits.
You're looking live as the teams get ready for the third period. A nightly ritual, J.D.
Before every period, Chris Nyland bends over and talks to Andy Moog, and he says to Andy Moog, concentrate, focus, concentrate, stay focused, Andy, because old Knuckles is going to get us going. It's exactly what Nyland says to him before the start of every period. He is one character.
I'm sure the Bruins knew what they were getting when they made the trade with the New York Rangers in the way of raw talent. And talent that have been tested from time to time. I'm not sure that they knew about the dressing room antics, though, did they?
Well, he's a piece of work. Can't let your guard down at all when you're around Chris Nyland. He went out with the team last night for a team dinner. The bill, including tip, $1,800 Canadian dollars. He said, I would have cooked. I would have done it for $1,500.
Well.
Anyway. Nyland, you know, Jigs, he was a New York Ranger, and he's a very fortunate person as he's able to finish up his career in the town where he's from, and that is Boston.
Yeah, it's something special playing back home. He grew up in the West Roxbury area of Boston. Didn't sell his home in the New York area, as I understand it.
Not yet.
But then that's not unusual either, is it? Janney has come to center ice. Neely is on the right. Skriko on the left for Boston. It'll be Carbonneau with McPhee to his left and Courtnall to the right for Montreal. The puck went back to Cote, and the Canadiens defense dumps it in wide of Andy Moog. Bork and Wesley teamed up on the Bruins defense and moved it around there to Wesley. Up on edge as he fed Skriko, and now to Janney. Has to wait for it to arrive. Spotted Skriko moving over the line. Shoots just wide of Patrick Waugh. Neely bumped by Carbonneau. Carbonneau goes to the ice, and the puck ends up on Cote's stick. Cote gave it to Schneider. They find Courtnall on right wing. Now to Guy Carbonneau, and he dumps one in from center ice. Moog swings it around the boards, the side of the ice open for McPhee, and he can't get it around Neely. The puck loose for Bork. Up to Neely. Courtnall stepped up to meet him, and Neely, nice play to get around him, and then he lost control of the puck, and here comes Courtnall. Carbonneau with him. Courtnall fakes, trying to move in on the defense, and Sweeney took the man as Moog took the puck and holds it.
Jakes, as this series has moved along, Sweeney, the left defenseman for Boston, has seen a lot of Russ Courtnall, and it seems as though Sweeney has really started to get to know Courtnall's moves. That last time, even though Courtnall was at the very end of a long shift, and Sweeney was very fresh. He had just jumped on the ice. Courtnall had nowhere to go. Sweeney had just gotten on the ice. He didn't go for the fake shot. He didn't go for the inside move. He just stayed there. And Courtnall had nothing to do. A fine defensive play by Don Sweeney.
Andy Moog and the head shake had been in quite a discussion with Don Koharski, the referee. Nothing too serious. Hodge and Skrudland on this face-off, won by Montreal, but Skrudland has banged it off the boards, and chasing it back is Dufresne. Canadians playing it through center ice. Corson has tapped it across the line. Here's Don Sweeney. Corson held it in, but shot it wide of Moog. In after it is Richer. Moog gave it to Burridge, waiting here in the right wing corner. He's turned it over. Richer into the skates of Corson, and his backhander hits Sweeney. Corson puts it back in the net. Galley steps in, moves it up along the boards, and out comes Randy Burridge. 3-on-2 through center ice. Burridge over the line. Nice pass. Lazaro, the shot. He scores!
What a shot by Lazaro. Mike Milbury went with a different line here, Jiggs. He put Chris Nyland on right wing to go opposite Shane Corson. Lazaro on the left side, and the only constant was to have Burridge at center ice opposite that Skrudland line. And look at this for a rocket. Up top, short side, over the shoulder, under the crossbar, and Boston leads for the first time in this game. Nice elevated pass to Lazaro from Burridge. When Burridge passed that puck, he had to elevate it over the defenseman's stick. What a great pass on the backhand by Burridge to feed Lazaro. And Boston lead, and the building is pretty quiet.
Lazaro's third goal of the playoffs, coming a minute and 26 seconds into the third period. The first goal since 8:06 of the opening period tonight, when the game was tied 1-1 on Sweeney's goal. And Boston leads 2-1. Gary Galley out on defense has given the puck to Don Sweeney. He lifted one off linesman Swede Knox that ends up in the Boston players bench, so the clock is stopped and they'll face off outside the Boston blue line. And the Bruins are going to make the player change with the lead now.
Hollywood Pictures presents Michael Keaton as one good cop in the battle for the streets. The line has been drawn. He's fighting a war that America can't afford to lose. One Good Cop, rated R, starts Friday. And from Touchstone Pictures, it's Sylvester Stallone in Oscar.
Sylvester Stallone puts aside his big macho image, and he's funny.
It was a different Stallone than I've ever seen before.
He's much better in comedy than that Rambo.
Oscar, rated PG, now playing. And One Good Cop starts Friday.
Montreal had the puck deep, and you see in behind the play as the puck was intercepted before it got in behind with Richer involved. 3-on-2. Look at this pass. Beautiful wide pass. A rocket of a shot by Lazaro. And Chris Nyland celebrates. It's a 2-1 Boston lead. Pat Burns can't be happy as his good offensive line gave up a goal against a group noted as checkers.
Early on in the season, one of the reports out of Montreal on Patrick Roy was one bad goal against per game. Off times costly. I don't know that that was a bad goal, but certainly it was one that was stoppable.
Yes, you have to. It's not what you stop, it's what you let in. And that one from that angle in this important game with Roy, with Patrick Roy's reputation, that was not a good one, Jiggs. High on the short side. Not a good one.
Well, Mike Milbury with his team on top now, but still 17 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in regulation time.
Going into this game, the scoring between the two teams at even strength was tied at 9 apiece. The only two in this game at even strength have gone to Boston. And Pat Burns has to search his bench to try and get some offense, yet not panic. They're only down one with 17:50 remaining.
The Bruins send Bork back to handle the puck. He and Hammond are the defense pairing. And that's Hoover shooting it on into the Montreal zone. Hoover is out here with Christian and Poulin. And the Canadians start out. Cote, after taking Schneider's pass, turned it towards center ice, and Keane turned it over. Dave Christian being hounded by Savard. And Raymond Bork bangs one off the boards. Cote with it at center ice. Backhands it over the Boston line. That's cleared right back by Raymond Bork. Daniel gives it to Cote. He comes to center, flips it up in the air. Chasing it at Savard. Bork and Savard go to the corner. The puck loose for Hammond to Ray Bork. Savard without a stick pushed at Bork. Christian is able to move it cross ice and is dumped down into the Montreal zone by Ron Hoover. He and Keane got crossed up in an effort to make changes at their respective benches. Out come the Canadians. Cote from center ice. Again, flips it in deep. Courtnall in after it. Courtnall can't get it to McPhee. Neely handles it. Has cleared the zone. Daniel waiting. Turns it over. Neely down the right side. Dropped it back toward Galley. Courtnall up to forecheck, JD.
Boston has completely changed their lines around for this third period. This is an icing now. If Daniel can get there, and he does. Icing against Boston. But Mike Milbury is trying to change his lines up to make it tough for Pat Burns to get what he wants going. Montreal trails by 1.
Too much of a good thing is a good thing.
The new, incredibly comfortable Mercury Grand Marquis. All this on the quality of a Mercury.
When you get to this stage of the game, you see Guy Carbonneau in a Montreal uniform working with Cam Neely. Battles and battles, you have to think and remember, Guy Carbonneau is playing out his option. Will he be a Montreal Canadian next year? No one knows just now as he continues to work. And jaw with Cam Neely. Carbonneau's stick chipped Neely's tooth. And Neely had to see the dentist after game 5. It'll be interesting, Jakes. Will Carbonneau be back? I don't know. He can entertain offers from other teams, and Montreal will have the right to match.
So much depends, I guess, on what that offer is and his desire to stay here. We talked about how difficult this city is to coach in. It's tough to play here, too. He may decide he'd like to try it elsewhere.
How about with the Nordique? And maybe trying to help Lindros. It would be very interesting, wouldn't it? That'd be worth it for the Quebec Nordique to spend some bucks to have Guy Carbonneau tutor Lindros.
With that thinking, I understand now, while you're rumored to be general manager material all over this league.
I don't think you
hadn't thought of it in those terms.
To be a rocket scientist to figure that one out, I don't think.
Courtnall races in, and then his shot goes off Don Sweeney's stick and on into the seats.
Sweeney and Courtnall. We've had fun watching that matchup throughout this series. Now Neely steps in and pulls the stick right out of the hands of Russ Courtnall. Neely, in his own way, giving the Montreal players a message. And Don Sweeney, with that bad shoulder, Jigs, they went out, Boston did, for a warm-up with an additional defenseman in the lineup. In case Sweeney was unable to handle being prepared for this game after getting hit heavily in game 5 and injuring his shoulder. Sweeney came back and finished game 5 and has played very well in this one.
Mike Milbury making a change. Sweeney went over to talk to referee Koharski, and now Bork and Nyland are picking up a conversation I'm sure was delivered by Mike Milbury, something that they want an explanation on, or just to draw to the attention of the referee. There's the time remaining in the third period, 15 minutes, 42 seconds.
Now, once again, Mike Milbury's only constant from that stump line, Jigs, is Burridge at center ice opposite Skrudland. They've moved Nyland to the right side to go opposite Shane Corson. Richer. We'll see a lot of Lazaro. They can match speed. Those two can. And the last time these two lines met, Lazaro scored.
How does Coach Davidson like that change?
It works. They've scored. They're +1 on the Montreal line. What I like about it is Nyland's toughness to go opposite Corson's toughness.
Nyland with the puck here. Got it back after it hit Schneider. Chris Nyland swung it in front, but Richer deflected that. Schneider gets it right back to Richer. Has Corson coming up with him. Corson taking the pass on left wing center. Skrudland was checked. And the Bruins take over in their own end. Burridge, a little off balance, was able to get it outside the line, and Schneider fires it right back in. Now yelling because Bork could knock Corson down well away from the play. Lazaro has the lead goal. He's giving it to Nyland, now to Bork. Over the Montreal line. Bork with a pass intended for Burridge, and a fine defensive move by Cote to take the passing lane away. Richer in trouble with it. Now gets it to Schneider. Shoots from the line over the crossbar and off the back of the net. Wesley waits, checks his options before giving it to Chris Nyland. Now up ahead with it is Hoover. Bruins in the middle of a change as Hoover pulls up, looks for somebody coming in late. Smart play, putting it back in the net, buying a little time. It comes back to the line. Wesley down behind the net. Desjardins chases it. So does Ron Hoover. Desjardins turned on him, put it in front of his own goal, and Dufresne has to go after it. The Canadians being encouraged by the crowd now as they come to center. This is Turgeon. Can't move around the defensive work of Wesley. Got hauled down. LeBeau steps out of the corner for the Canadians. LeBeau had trouble handling it before Hoover got to him. Then Hoover is crunched by Turgeon. Battle for the puck along the boards. Dave Poulin frees it up. Swings it around to the open side, but Desjardins is there for a shot. Kicked out. The rebound is wide off the stick of Keane. Turgeon trying to put it in the goal mouth. The scramble on. The puck loose. Keane was there chopping at it. It's back in the net. LeBeau centers. And that's cleared away by Christian. Dufresne holds it in for the Canadians. Now to LeBeau. Back to Dufresne. Long shot blocked by Christian. Dave Christian spots it again and just tipped it outside the zone. Desjardins will shoot it right back in.
This fresh line for Montreal, LeBeau, Keane, and Turgeon with the best offense Montreal's had. I think Jake's mainly because they haven't played much and they're rested.
Now at center ice, there will be a penalty call. Richer is hauled down. Skriko appeals. So does Janney. But a holding call is the indication from referee Don Koharski. The Bruins lead 2-1, and we pause for a regional break. You're watching Sports Channel America's exclusive Stanley Cup coverage.
All human animals hunger for trusting relationships. Me, I trust my snapper dealer. Just ask him about his total protection warranty. Talk about trust. And about your free $50 or $100 U.S. savings bond when you buy a new snapper mower and additional snapper items. Gentlemen, how about a hug?
See the full line of snapper products at these local snapper dealers.
Petri Skriko gets the gate for holding.
In the neutral zone, he reached out with his left hand, pulled back the jersey of Richer, and Skriko took just a second minor. And this is the 12th game of the playoffs as the big cheese, Mr. Ronald Corey, looks on. You can see the look on his face. You know what this 2 minutes means here. The Canadians put Savard up front, Jakes, for the power play. They just feel that if he's back on the point in a 2-1 game in which they trailed, they would be taking too many chances defensively, even though they're on the power play. So Pat Burns put 2 defensemen back there.
Schneider and Desjardins on defense. Courtnall to the right of Savard. Corson to the left as the puck is dumped in by Desjardins. A hard around, actually. It comes outside the zone. Lazaro is checked. And here's Shane Corson. Swings to the left side where he was met by Bourque, but Courtnall gets to it. Wesley got to him. Dave Poulin trying to get away from Savard. Hooked the puck loose. Now Wesley knocks it away. Bourque had a war going with Corson at the side of the Boston net. The crowd reacting to that as the Bruins have dumped it down the ice. 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining in Skriko's holding penalty. This is Eric Desjardins. Over center ice. Across the Boston line. Played it to the boards, and Don Sweeney got it to Burridge and down the ice.
Desjardins put the puck to the boards because he thought he had a teammate with him, but it was Schneider. It would have been both defensemen up front. Schneider peeled back, so he didn't get both defensemen trapped.
Here's Richer, but the play is offside. 59 seconds left in the penalty to Skriko. The 5th power play of the game for the Montreal Canadiens. Stéphane Richer questioning the call, but to no avail. Bourque is over talking as well. He's talking to the referee about
the Corson entanglement near Andy Moog. Both players were barking at Koharski after they got up. You know, Pat Burns, Jake, so here you see Corson and Bourque, and they battling along the side of the net. Corson pulls down Bourque. He can't get loose, so Bourque gives Corson a couple of extra shots. Now they both look over at the referee and appeal. Richer has had 1 shot through 2 periods going into this one, Jigs. He had 2 very harmless shots in Game 5, the Boston win during the last game in Boston. Richer has just not been able to get loose.
But the guy on the right side, McPhee, has had a lot of shots tonight, JD.
7 going into this period, and you can see, and it's a good move, I think, by Pat Burns. Put him on the power play. He's had offensive chances.
Poulin blocked that pass from Desjardins and forces the Canadians to reset the power play. Starting out here is Daigneault. Jean-Jacques Daigneault to Richer. He's dumped it in. Andy Moog plays it to the corner boards. That's Lazaro. Found an opening. Down the ice it goes.
Montreal's dump in's not working. They want to bang the puck in hard, have it go to the other side of the ice, then overload and recover the puck. It hasn't worked.
Nice play by Poulin to break up the rush as Richer started out of the zone. So Patrick Roy is forced to play the puck. Bringing it out again. Desjardins around the boards. Again, a hard around. The Canadians flooded that side of the ice, and it didn't work.
It's an exact play that Boston appears to be expecting, and Montreal can't recover the puck when they jam it in.
Some restless fans in the seats booing. The penalty has expired. Richer up the middle. Met solidly by Bourque, and Richer stunned on that check. Slow to get up. Back comes Chris Nylund. Into the middle with a feed to Skriko, and he dumps it around the boards, and the Bruins go for a player change. Boston 2, Montreal 1, little less than 11 minutes to play in the 3rd period. Keane with a feed to Carbonneau, now to McPhee, over the line, but met there. Nice play by Galley, and back with it is Don Sweeney. Backhand pass cut off by Cote as Nyland moved up the wing. Cote steps over the line. 3 Bruins surrounded him. Cote maintains control, then centers, and Galley blocks it. The net comes off. Collision there, freeing the net. Clock stopped. The score, Boston 2, Montreal 1, and we pause for a regional break. You're watching Sports Channel America's exclusive Stanley Cup coverage.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline for all the scores.
In a 3-2 overtime thriller.
For sports news.
Some big free agent signings today.
1-900-896-2333 is all you need. 24 hours a day, every day. Get late-breaking results and news on your favorite sport.
For basketball, press 1 now.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline. Call today.
A look at Pat Burns at the Montreal bench. Looking at the clock a moment ago. 10.5 minutes to go.
Well, here's Richer. Now watch Bourque meet him with a stick. Boom! And Bourque's strength knocking Richer. That was a helmet popper again, as the helmet popped up when Richer was hit. Sitting at the end of the bench. And Jakes, Pat Burns was just appealing once again. Mike Milbury with very deliberate line changes here, trying to slow down things so his best players can recover while sitting on the bench. And Pat Burns is getting hot about it.
Richer is sitting in what was Chateau Bow Wow for the second period. It is not for the third because of the way the bench is empty and the flow of the play into the Boston zone.
That's right. The forwards sit there now, not the defenseman. Richer's at that end of the bench so he can get on the ice quickly when he's needed to think offense.
Odeline is stuck down at the end of the bench, right at the blue line. That is the Canadian zone. Janney works the puck out of the Boston end. It's picked up by Skriko. He and Neely across the line. Quick shot is wide of Waugh. Rolls off the back of the net. Neely got to it. Cote takes it here. Langley off the boards, and Don Sweeney's shot is turned aside by Waugh. Here's Neely, sets up Janney. Neely is bumped and knocked down by Corson. Janney, nice job to hold the puck. Centered, Neely can't get to it. Skriko did. Petri Skriko to Craig Janney, trying to center. Neely is covered. Now he gets loose and the puck comes back. Wesley's shot from the point hits Neely and ends up on Carbonneau's stick. A long outlet to Courtnall. Corson with him. 2 men back. Here's Corson on left wing, and he shot it right at Wesley. In after it now is Courtnall. Fanned in his effort to center it. And Courtnall gets checked by Janney, and the puck is thrown out of the zone by Skriko, but no call. And Savard moves it across the Bruin line, only to have Wesley come up with it. And Lazaro, his pass through everybody, ends up on the open wing. And Don Sweeney moves it out through center ice. The Canadians will take over here. And just shot it into the Boston zone. Glenn Wesley clears that. Clock shows 9 minutes to play in the third period. The Bruins 2, the Canadians 1. Up with it is Savard. Trailing is Keane. Savard waits at the line. Nice play to Turgeon, and his shot is blocked by Bourque. Turgeon gets it back to the point. Here's Desjardins, and his shot ricochets off Burridge's skates. Jeff Lazaro has the lead goal in this game. Gets it to Burridge, and now to Chris Nyland. Cuts to the right side, drops it back. Jeff Lazaro with a shot. Waugh the save. The loose puck in front, picked off and cleared by Desjardins. Can't get it out of the zone. Daigneault on it now as Nyland ran a pick on Desjardins, and up come the Canadians 4-on-3. J.J. Daigneault over the line with a pass to Turgeon. He shoots off Bourque, loose in front. Keane with it, back of the net to Savard. Savard trying to center. He gets wrapped up by Burridge. Play is called. The Boston goal is off the hinge. Just up and off, put back by Moog, but we get the play stoppage with just over 8 minutes left in the third period at Montreal.
Let's go, get it!
There's only one light beer with the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered Genuine Draft Light.
We're on our way. Yeah, we'll be ready.
Stanley Cup playoff action continues on Sports Channel America tomorrow night. Mike Emmerich and Bill Clement will be at the Met Center in Bloomington with the North Stars trying to eliminate the St. Louis Blues, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And then our Chicago-based crew Matt Foley and Dale Talon will be at the Northlands Coliseum as the Edmonton Oilers will attempt to close out the Los Angeles Kings. Check your local listings. Both games beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern Time right here on Sports Channel America. For sale, Chateau Bow Wow.
Odeline still staying in it, cheering on his teammates. There's J.J. Daigneault, number 48. He was just being treated by the trainer. He was having difficulty, it looked like, with a leg problem. Ray Bourque, I don't think, has been better defensively in this series than what he has shown here in the third period.
Look out here. Bourque lost control of it, and Moog just bailed him out. You were saying?
You know it. Bourque was about to play the puck, but he was beaten to it. And Andy Moog makes a save as Pat Burns wants a penalty, saying the shot was not a clean shot. And he's appealing not only by talking to Don Koharski, but by showing gestures. That was right off the draw, and that should not happen in the defensive zone. A team allowed to get a shot like this. Skrudland went and tied up Poland. Now watch Richer get to the puck here. He takes the shot before he was knocked down. There, as he's knocked down by Bourque. That's why Burns wanted the penalty. And it was not Richer's reach. It was one of the other players that got to the puck and retrieved it for Richer in the scoring chance.
Face off on the opposite side. Skrudland stepped around Neely, got pulled down. Ryan Skrudland with it again. Handles the pass to Schneider. In deeper to Richer. Shoots. That's blocked. And Neely broke that up. Neely goes back to the net. Lays it around to Bourque. Bourque allowed to clear it out of the zone. It went off Cote's stick, and the Canadians send Cote back to recover. He's given it to Matthew Schneider. Up front, it's Richer, Corson, and Skrudland for Montreal. Boston countering with Dave Christian, who just broke up that pass. Christian, Poulin, and Hoover together. Cote takes Poulin into the corner boards. Richer, or at least Hoover, I should say, along with Christian, all on that side of the ice. They've frozen it on the boards. The clock is stopped with 7.5 minutes left in the third period.
What you're about to see is a sim. Brushstrokes, runs, streaks. Now consider the new Wagner Power Painter. It has patented controls for precision, a convenient backpack for big jobs. It paints smoothly and evenly over cracks and tough surfaces. Why did we ruin this beauty? So you wouldn't ruin this one. Wagner, not just a whole lot faster, a whole lot better.
This was that last face-off in the Boston zone. The two centermen tie each other up, but on the right side of the screen, you're going to see McPhee fight away from his check and make that Corson drive to get the loose puck. Now look at Richer just get to the front of the net with Corson's hustle. He finds the puck, the shot, and the save by Andy Moog. So Boston has to be better, Jigs, on the draws in their own zone, away from the centerman. And the last face-off, Neely took the draw, the most important face-off of the series, and Neely took it at the defensive zone.
That was our storyline coming into this period. You heard Dave Poulin talk about face-offs. A game, a series can be won or lost on the draw of the puck. Poulin got it to the line, held in by the Canadians. Corson with a shot, that's blocked. Wesley, after blocking it, couldn't find it again, and here's Richer going back of the net. Trying to come out in front on the backhand, is chased wide. Dufresne with it now. He puts it around the boards. Richer and Poulin arrive simultaneously, and Poulin is able to clear the zone. Chasing it back is Desjardins. Christian went into forecheck. He was picked up by Dufresne, and that gave the other defenseman a chance to play it. He can't get it through center ice. The Canadians surround Janney, and up with the puck is Brian Skrudland. Shane Corson off the wing, shoots. No problem there for Moog. Gary Galley can't clear it outside the line. Cote moved in. Galley went down. The puck loose, and Skriko lifts it over Cote's head. Spins down into the Montreal zone, not near far enough for an icing call. Canadians changing on the fly here. Forechecking of Janney. Knocked the stick out of Daigneault's hands, but look out here. Courtnall flying with a pass to McPhee. Over to Carbonneau. Backhand shot after he had to take it out of his skates. Didn't get to the net. The Bruins come to center ice. Over the line, Petri Skriko can't shoot it around the defense. Janney gets it on target, and it's handled and then held by Patrick Waugh.
Big again, you see Montreal facing the Janney line, Carbonneau line against them. Skriko has been the left winger here over the last 10 or 15 minutes of this period. Pardon me, make that about 12 minutes in place of Chris Nyland. The reason is when Boston took the lead, Skriko was put on the left wing. Nyland had been there for a protection factor more than anything else. Montreal's not going to go out and run Janney or bump Neely and take a penalty. So Mike Milbury has done some wonderful, I think, line juggling here in the third period because they've had the lead to get it done. Now, you see LeBeau is going to be on the ice here for Montreal with Turgeon and Keane. They've been one of the best lines for Montreal in the third period, even though they haven't played very much.
John, we've had only 7 shots on goal combined this period. 4 of them by the Bruins, only 3 by the Canadiens. And a shot by Lazaro at 1 minute 26 seconds into this period has given the Boston Bruins a 2-1 lead in Game 6. And the Bruins win. They'll face the Pittsburgh Penguins in the next round to decide the conference title. That series would open on Wednesday, but there's still lots of time as far as the Canadiens are concerned. They've got to find a way to get even. Turgeon with a pass in front that was broken up. Cote trapped it outside the line. That's going to be called back and an offside. Canadiens fans not happy with that call, but it was the proper one, and we get another face-off.
Mission: create the ultimate automobile polish. Mission accomplished. Liquid Crystal, the most technologically advanced automobile polish ever made. A dull, faded blazer, the shine instantly restored with no rubbing, no buffing. And after 104 car washes, water still beads. Liquid Crystal will shine and protect better than any car wax you've ever used, or your money back. Liquid Crystal, quite simply, the best shine and protection money can buy.
From overhead, the Panavision camera showing the location of the face-off just outside the Boston blue line is Burridge. It's set on the draw with LeBeau. Won by Burridge. Don Sweeney banks it off the boards. Cote waits at center and shoots it right back in off Andy Moog. Grabbing at it. Gary Galley gets a little help from Nyland, who's cleared it through the Montreal defense. Cote back quickly as Lazaro came in with a head of steam. A.J. Dayo, the Canadiens able to move it out of the zone. LeBeau checked, however, by Nyland. Nyland right back on LeBeau. And over on the right side, it's Cote flipping it into the Boston zone. Bounce that from DeMeaux. Galley met as he went back of the net. Keane was on him. Turgeon into forecheck. Long pass. Nyland gets to it in the Montreal zone. A rolling puck to contend with. His teammates in the middle of a change had nobody to give it to, and he got thumped pretty good back to the net as Dufresne caught him. That's Turgeon being checked at the line, and Nyland is over the Montreal blue line again with a shot that's deflected by Dufresne. Donald Dufresne up the left side, but not out. Raymond Bourque puts it back of the goal. Less than 5 minutes to go in the third period at Montreal. Here's Brian Skrudlin as the Canadiens can't get through center. Good play by the Bruins, choking off that neutral ice area. And the right into forecheck, sending Christian and then Poulin in, and now Hoover over on the left side. It comes back to Wesley. A shot is wide of Patrick Waugh. Poulin off the right wing. Trying to come out of the corner. Christian was there. The puck knocked away from him. Corson goes rink wide, intended for Richer. It went through him right to Poulin. And the Canadiens are forced back.
Boston beating Montreal at what Montreal over the years has been proud of, and that's being able to protect the lead.
Now the Canadiens move in. Richer shot. They score!
The puck barely get over the line. There's Richet's original shot. Shane Carson scores. Takes it with the original pass out of the Montreal zone that trapped everybody. The shot is partially blocked, and you'll see it just get past Andy Moog and barely over the line, but there's no doubt it was in. We have a 2-2 game. Montreal, Shane Carson on the Montreal 30th shot, able to tie this thing up.
goal at 15:56. Corson's 8th to the playoffs. Less than 4 minutes to go now. Back of the net, Daniel for the Canadians. Plays it around the boards. Here's Bourque. In deep. Janney got turned around in front of the Montreal net, but Neely is onto the puck. Get it to Janney. Cote jabbing at it with help from McPhee. They're able to clear the zone, and the Bruins shoot it back in again. With the play back onside as Cote goes cross ice to Daniel. Up ahead, intended for McPhee. It was over his head. Bourque knocked it down, got it in the Montreal zone, and here's Janney. Pulls up on the check of Daniel, centers it back. Don Sweeney unloads from the point. That hit Portnoy. Portnoy checked by Don Sweeney, but Cote is there and failed to clear it. Stays at the line for Bourque. Backhanded one back to the goal. Cote with it now. Janney on one side, Neely on the other. The tight forechecking for the Bruins. They're able to hold it at the line, but now the Canadians break out. Portnoy down right wing. Portnoy cuts to the left, goes back the other way. Nobody there. Up come the Bruins. Strico over the line. Petri Strico snaps one that's blocked by Waugh. Loose puck in front. Galley a drive. Glove save by Waugh. Just prior to this, Carbonneau had been injured, was down for a while, got to the Montreal bench and being attended to now.
Well, he took his helmet off. He lost his gloves, stick, everything. The whistle didn't sound. Boston had the puck. See here, Carbonneau turns and whoa, does he take the stick of Cam Neely right across the side of the head. Right up across the side of the head. Jigs, 2-2 here. We'll take a look at the goal that made it 2-2. You see the Canadians move the puck up the ice, and it's a first pass out of the zone right here, wide. Now you're going to see, if we stop it, Skrulin on the puck, and we're going to see two Bruins go over here. One Montreal player, that's a 2-on-1, which will leave a 2-on-1 in front. Stop it again. Now you see the 2-on-1 here. Richer and Corson, and only one defenseman. And one 2-on-1 leads to the other 2-on-1, and Corson scores. Great pass out of the zone by Desjardins to lead Montreal into tying. Patrick Waugh makes the save of the night for Montreal on the rebound of this shot. The puck will go back and out to Galley. Waugh gets up and over, and Radar like glove hand makes the save to keep it at 2.
Here are the numbers. Canadians 2, the Bruins 2, 2 minutes and 46 seconds left in this game 6. If Montreal wins, the showdown is in Boston on Monday night. Yali had that chance.
Oh, it was a good shot, an accurate shot, but a great save. Carbonneau is on the bench. He has his helmet back on. He's ready to go.
Face off to the right of the Montreal net. The amount of playing time and regulation up in the top right-hand corner. Lazaro anticipating the face-off, jumped in. Now gets back to the restraining circle. And the Canadians up with the puck and clearing it out is Gilchrist. Gary Galley waits before shooting it on into the Canadian zone. Wall lets it go round the boards. Burridge takes the man. Lazaro puts the puck back at the goal line, and there's Dufresne. Donald Dufresne played it away from Burridge. Keane takes it here and dumps it on into the Boston end of the ice. Icing is waved off as Gary Galley goes back. Galley met there on the check of Gilchrist. Grudland and Galley tumble to the deck. Wesley takes it to the boards, and there's no further play.
This will cause a face-off once things settle down as Grudland forced the play deep in the Boston zone.
You know those people?
They've driven a long way from up in northern Quebec, I would think, to get here, Jakes. Face-off in the Boston zone, and Boston has had to use Neely at times on face-offs, and I really don't think Boston feels comfortable about draws in their own zone. We saw a draw earlier in the period in which Richer had a quality scoring chance. And now we have another face-off coming up. As Montreal and Boston have tied this up at 2 with 2:11 remaining in the third period on what has been a very good series. This may be aside, of course, we had the one overtime game in this series where Richer scored in overtime. Now, most of the other games were dominated by one team throughout the game. The last half of this game has been very, very even.
At Very much so. I think back to the game in Boston the other night. The Bruins blew it open with 2 goals in the third period. The game here, game 4, and the Canadians won big. They actually blew it open in the second, but made sure of it in the third with 2 unanswered goals. Now the crowd is into it again.
Here's that lineup again. Look at Courtnall back. Only 1 forward up for Montreal. The other 2 forwards at the top of the circle and 2 defensemen back. That's why Dave Poulin has to just get the puck to the side so his wingers can get in.
Montreal had the stick lifted, but the Canadians failed to get it back to him. And here's Ray Bourque around to the right side for Cam Neely. Cross ice over the line with it is Skriko. Patrick Skriko snaps one off the stick of Patrick Waugh. And the Canadians end up clearing it away from Bourque and out towards center. Carbonneau up the forecheck. Raymond Bourque carrying the puck over center. On into the Montreal zone. Is crowded. Gets away from the traffic. And his shot is turned aside by Waugh. Ross Courtnall to Carbonneau. Oh, what a check by Poulin. Rocking Guy Carbonneau. Wesley plays it into the Montreal end. It jumped over Schneider's stick. Matthew Schneider around to the far side. Courtnall waits for the puck. Tipped it through center. Actually gave it away. Galley gets the Bruins across the Canadians line. Montreal tightened up, and Cote steps over center ice. 3 Bruins back. It's knocked off his stick by Bourque. Cote and Bourque ended up pushing at one another. And Boston has just iced the puck as Daniel goes back. We get a whistle. 1 minute and 8 seconds left in the third period.
Now the face-off comes to the near side. That's the side that Neely was on the ice to take the draw. Carbonneau has been battled around a lot here. In the third period, he was flattened by Poulin, and he got up, went over and flattened Wesley. And you see the clip near the eye. That's the play where Neely's stick caught Carbonneau. Cam Neely was very lucky not to at least get a double minor for an accidental high stick.
Neely didn't practice with the Bruins yesterday. Well, now wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh my. All the hockey roads in Eastern Canada lead to Montreal and out of Toronto.
Leafs scouting the game. Looking for talent. Could be the new super boss of the Toronto team. Look like anybody you knew?
This is an interesting shift again. Pat Burns sits Richer in the last minute, plays Keane on the right side, a defensive forward in his place.
Rudlin on the draw, tied up by Poulin. That gave Bourque a chance to handle the puck. Got away from Strudlin and moved it up to Randy Burridge. Burridge with a feed intended for Poulin. It hit Keane and was cleared back with Burridge is there. Strudlin right on him. Galley puts it to Bourque up the right side for Chris Nyland. His pass is in Burridge's skates. He's got it at the Montreal line. To the late man, that was Nyland, and he couldn't get to it. The Canadians trying to come over center in their turn back. Here's Galley. Off the right side, the defenseman taken back to the net by Corson's check. Nyland can't center it. Strudlin let it slip off his stick, then is able to recover, brings the Canadians up 3-on-2. Strudlin over the line with a feed. Keane a drive, blocked. Poulin tipped the rebound away, and Nyland handles it here but lost it. Strudlin to Daigneault, way up in the air on the deflection, and out of play.
Hey, Jigs, an interesting play by the Bruins as Galley and Corson waltz a little bit, but Galley was up ice. He was forced in behind Patrick Waugh and trapped up ice. It was a 2-on-2 going back the other way, and it was Poulin who sat back in the defensive zone. Very interesting as there was about 40 seconds left. Here we have Corson battling with Galley. Jigs, it was Galley. Look at him. He's trying to cut in. They don't allow him, but he ends up behind the net and he's trapped. And you'll see him be taken right completely out of the play. That's a defenseman up ice in a 2-2 game with less than a minute to go. And Dave Poulin, who's a very bright player, is back playing right defense. And as Montreal head up ice, Poulin is back as a defense mate for Ray Bourque, who had switched sides. And you see here, Bourque there, moving in on Keane. Poulin is back in here where he's supposed to be. And when a rebound came away from Moog, Poulin ricocheted the puck away. He played it perfectly.
Now as we get set for this face-off, it's right at the blue line. The Canadians forced back to center. Cote bounces one Just past Andy Moog's goal mouth, and Ray Bort lifts it up ahead. 6 seconds left as Squeako comes over the Montreal line. 3 seconds, a shot up high, turned aside by Waugh, and we're going to go to overtime. The goal by Corson, the goaltending of Waugh, and Montreal and the Bruins are going to overtime in Game 6.
It's been a battle, and overtime I think is deserved in this game. Patrick Waugh came back with a great save late.
2-2 is the score after 60 minutes of regulation, and we pause now for a regional break. You're watching Sports Channel America's exclusive Stanley Cup coverage.